Ho, ho, ho! Good tidings! Well, stop by, Stockings. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, welcome to Qyjari's Curious Crafts, and today we're doing Aunt Anne's tree. We're going to be making this cute little guy, this Santa gnome ornament, and thank you for everyone who's already in the chat room. I appreciate your support. Can you hear me okay? Because I have a different setup than I did for yesterday's 3 sheets 1 shot, so I want to make sure that you can hear me okay. Also, you can see me on this screen and on this screen because I have them both running at the same time, but I'm going to switch that so you can see the hand cam and see the details of what I'll be working on. So let's go over the tools and materials. I'll switch it to the other cam. Ta-da! You can still see me way over here, but I'm also right here. Let's see what it, oh, yep, sounds good. Thank you, Raynick, for supporting me. Okay, so let's go over tools and materials. I, of course, am old. I need my readers, so I've got those. You'll also need a variety of felt pieces. I've already got these cut out, but I will show you how to cut patterns from the felt pieces. I have this light blue. It's a baby blue. It's different. It's called something different at every craft store. At Michael's and at Joann's and at Hobby Lobby, it's probably the same shade of blue, but it's called something else. But you can get any color you want, whatever color you want to make the body of your gnome. I like this baby blue because it's a different color on your Christmas tree. And I like a variety of things on my Christmas tree. I have purple things and pink things, and sometimes you get tired of just all red. So you'll also need coordinating pieces of floss. I use DMC floss, and all of these have numbers. So for example, this one is 3841, and it is the if you're looking on the hand cam, it has a name to it too, but again, DMC and other floss companies have different numbers and names for each of their colors. So I just take the felt pieces with me that I use, and I coordinate the matching floss. So I have blue, I have red for his hat, and there's the red. For his face, I have peach. And actually, you know what? His face is not sewn at all, so I didn't need floss for his face. I have white, of course, for his beard and black for his belt. Also, you need, like I said, I've already got these cut out, so there, I won't have a, the other day when I made Sir Mimsy last month for the holiday stream, I had him looking like a Picasso Mimsy with his face everywhere, so I'll put that one back properly. This is the pattern I used, and this is a pattern that I designed myself. I just cut it out of stenographer's paper and drew it. I have a trick for making patterns that I want to be asymmetrical. I design it halfway and just cut it that way, and then it's symmetrical. Ta-da! Same with his hat and his belt and his beard. All of these can be folded in half, and ta-da! You've got a asymmetrical beard, and there's his little face. You'll also need coordinating ribbon. I get 1/8 ribbon. This is just one-sided silk, I think. It's not grosgrain or anything. Grosgrain is the kind of ribbon that has the bumps on it. You don't need that. You could use it, but you don't need it. This is really inexpensive. I think I can get these for 50 cents at the craft store. Or Walmart actually has them too. I used to, when I made ornaments long ago, I used to make very long strands like this. If you're looking at the hand cam right here, to hang on trees. And I stopped doing that because I realized that sometimes you wanted the ornament to hang closer to the branch, and there was no way to do this unless you doubled up on the string or ribbon or whatever you used to hang your ornaments. So I started making very short ones, like I did on this one. You can see here. Is the camera autofocusing? Rainick? I can't tell. Maybe not. I started making these very short ones, like a 1/2 inch ones, and that way you can put your own ornament hook through the loop there and hang it as close to the branch or as far away from the branch as you'd like if you use a longer hook or a short hook. So that's just something I've done that I've realized over the years that I prefer to have the shorter hook on there. Okay. I'll show you how to tie that into a handy little knot later on, but you'll need one of those. Now, I have enough supplies here to make actually 5 gnomes. I tend to, when I find a pattern I like and I make a prototype, I tend to cut out, while I'm cutting the pattern, enough to make several to give to family and friends, and I actually sell them. So, start a production line for myself. They're all hand sewn by me. I don't outsource anything, and I really enjoy it. It's like my yoga. It's the only exercise I get. Continuing with supplies, you'll also need, these are optional. 2 things are optional, and you can see they're not on this gnome that I've already made. One of them is this little buckle that you can get. I think they're in the leatherworking section at the hobby store. But I was going to put a buckle there on my little gnome, and I didn't know if I liked it or not. So on this prototype, I didn't add one. So maybe we'll add one to the one we make today to see how it looks. They come in, come round silver, and then I found some that are gold hearts. This camera, this camera, this camera, this camera. Also, I wasn't sure what to do about whether I should make him a true Santa with a Santa hat with a ball on it. And I still don't know if I want to do that. That's why this one's not attached. Because gnomes, that's what one thing that doesn't change about gnomes is their hat. It's always red, and it's always doesn't have any kind of embellishments on it. Typically a garden gnome, if you just look up garden gnome. But I thought the ball might make it look kind of cute. I don't know. I'm still in 2 minds about that. The other reason is because I might need another piece of felt to then go across the top, sort of, I mean, this is not the piece, but sort of like that to give that Santa hat an edge. And it's kind of cute, but that turns him into just a blue Santa instead of it being a gnome. So I think I'll probably leave that part out, but if you want to add a little ball, these are about 1 inch, maybe 3/4 inch cotton balls. I mean, not cotton balls, pom-poms that you can get at the craft store. Don't use cotton ball. That won't work. The other thing I thought about doing to embellish him is to add some sparkle to his beard. And that would be using some of this white sequins and white seed beads. And these are actually more pearlescent. They're not really true white, they're more beige. That's another reason why I wasn't sure I wanted to do that. But if you wanted to add some sparkle to it, you could add the seed beads and the sequins to it. So these are all optional ideas. I'll put the optional stuff over to the side. Now, as far as tools, oh, was that some ASMR for you there, Rainick? Sliding those across the metal pieces across the cutting pad. Okay, tools. I'm sorry, a couple more things. The beads. You'll need a nice red bead for his nose and 2 black beads for his eyes. The black beads are about 4 millimeters, and the red bead for his nose is about 5 millimeters. And that's how they usually come packaged at the store in those millimeter sizes. I don't know why they go millimeters for beads and inches for ribbons, but they do. All right, so let me show you how I cut this is really simple sewing stuff, but let's go over it real quick. I attach I use felt because it doesn't have a grain on it or a nap that peels a lot. It's easy to sew, and it keeps a very clean edge. You can see along here how nice that edge is, doing the blanket stitch there. So I'm going to attach this using pins. on here. I always try to maximize the space on the fabric that I use, felt or what other fabric I use, to get the most use out of every piece, and I save all my scraps. So I'm just gonna pin that on. I also use Fisker shears in addition to Surebonder. I'm sure they should be sponsoring me, since I swear by these Fiskers. These sewing, they lock. They have a little locking mechanism on them. I'm trying to show 2 cameras at once. This is really confusing. Metric, please. Surebonder sponsor. Yes, please. Okay, so I have 2 pairs. I have this one for large pieces of fabric, and I have these little snips, and they also have a lock mechanism on them because they're very sharp. All right, so gotta get my readers on because I'm blind. There we go. You don't have to be precise. I know that I made my pattern symmetrical, but you know, are they all really precise and symmetrical? Not all ornaments are, and not all gnomes are. There actually is a really cool book about gnomes. I think I got it from my sister for Christmas one year. She had asked for it. And it's supposed to be the history of the true gnome. And that's how I got the information about the fact that they only wear red hats and they don't have any embellishments on them. Trash, here we go. So that's how you cut the patterns out. The only thing, or the pieces I mean, from the pattern. The only one you'll need more than one of is the actual body. And that's because you have to attach it like that. But that goes on last. We'll do that last. Right now we're going to attach the face in the center. Oh, we already had a hat. There's an extra hat. I'm gonna just lay these out where they belong so I make sure I get the face in the proper location. There we go. That's a little too far. That's better. Okay, then the beard would go here, right up to the edge of the hat. And his belt would go, we're not going to keep these on here, I'm just getting an idea of where to start the first piece. You always start with the piece on the bottom, which would be the, which would actually be the face piece, but we're going to cheat and sew the face piece on at the same time we do the hat. All right, it's hard to see it when it's laying flat like that. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna tack those two in place so they don't shift on me as I'm sewing. Now I don't usually do this. I usually just hold it up to my face and sew, but because I'm doing this on the stream, I'm gonna tack these in. And the reason why I don't usually do it is because the thread, the floss rather, gets caught on the needles as I pull them through. But that's okay. I'll deal with it for this. So I need red to start, and we're gonna do a single stitch, running stitch. I don't know if that is, I'm gonna pull it up to the camera. Go this way. And it's just a simple stitch going in and out, in and out, in and out. Very easy. I try to do that to the inside pieces. I used to do a lot of the blanket stitches on the inside pieces, but it's hardly noticeable, and it just took up so much more time. And actually, it made it look a little busy, and I wanted to keep them nicer and more simple. So DMC floss, as well as a lot of other floss companies, they come in 6 strands. So I only use 2 of them. And that's economical reasons and threading reasons. Economical, of course, because then you can get 3 different uses out of the same strand. And threading reasons is because I tend to use as thin of an eye needle as I can. So that I don't have to try to squeeze 3 pieces of floss through. If you need a needler or a threader, that's not a word, a floss threader or a I don't even know what they're called. They're like little metal thing. I don't use them. I have one. I don't even know where it is. to thread your needle, you can use those. They come usually just a couple for whatever at the store in the pack, couple in a package. They tend to break easy too. They're very, very flimsy. Whatever company that is, you don't have to sponsor me. All right, so I've got my 3 different strands of red. Hopefully I only need one. Usually wrap them up. I try to keep them in these little bags to keep them separate, along with the color tab. So I remember that 817 is the color I used for this project. And I'm just gonna, well, let me just tuck that aside. I'll wind that later. Okay, so I also have a variety of needles here on my little tomato, and I lick it. That's what I do. I lick the thread to get it through the needle. Let's see. How about this one? This one had some old red on it that I don't need. Had more like of a maroon color on there. I don't need that one. Okay, so I've licked this end here, the 2 strands, and I will, there we go. I'm going to look over at my monitor before I start sewing to see if chat is saying anything. I don't mean to ignore chat. It's a lot harder to look over there when I'm working at this table. Yesterday I was at the actual producer's table with the green screen behind me to do the 3 sheets 1 shot that I was doing, which I had a blast doing. That was so much fun. This one is a little more complicated setup. Being on this side of the room, I had to move monitors and keyboards and stuff to get access as a self-produced show. So you didn't see me do that. Or if you did, I didn't explain it. It's how to tie a knot easily at the end of your floss. I will do that with this piece here. I'll do it again just to show you. What I do is I take my forefinger and I lick it. all these ornaments have my slobber all over them. And I take it and I wrap it around my forefinger with my thumb, and then I roll the thread between my fingers like this. And then I let my forefinger out, and then I hold my thumb over the twist. It's harder to show you without actually just doing it, so I'll just do it real quick. And I twist and pull, and there's the knot. And it's a not just a single knot, but it's a double or triple. You can kind of see that there. All right. So I'll remember that one's knotted next time I use that red. Okay. So because I'm not worried about the knot being shown, and there's a trick to that when we put the backing on, I'm just going to start in the middle. And the reason why I start in the middle is because if I start at the end and it shifts, I can't really fix it very easily. But if I start in the middle, then I can work this part. This will be on solidly, and then by the time I work around here and I get to this part, I can shift, if I need to, the face where it belongs. So I'm just going to do a running stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, but I want to make sure it catches onto that that face felt, that peach felt underneath there for his face. And once I sew this part, I can remove that pin and it'll make it a lot easier. If you wanted to do the add the sequins to his beard, then that is an option you can certainly do, but I would do it before you sew it onto the face. I'm gonna move that pin now. A, it's in my way, and B,
Welcome!
oh, thank you! Thank you for following. Who was that? That was, I cannot see its name, his, her, their name. It went by so fast. I'm so sorry, but thank you for following. That's awesome. That was Sir Mimsy and his Santa hat that popped. No, he didn't have a Santa hat on, did he? That was I would have had to change it on all the streams, and that would have been awkward having it pop up on my D&D stream. But that's Sir Mimsy, and he welcomes you to the stream. He was designed by my wonderful daughter, Delmori. And he has seen many hats. He's had a Santa hat on. He's had Bob Ross's wig on. We have a fun time on this stream for sure. Oh, that happens to me a lot. Let me grab that needle back again. I was intending for this stream to be just a very relaxing chat, maybe, if I can see the screen over there. Oh, you didn't see either. Yeah, that's okay, Rainick. Thank you, though. I heard the welcome. I didn't get scared, though. Usually I jump when I hear Mimsy pop on with his welcome. I had asked Jimmy Sherwood, a voice actor, to do the voice of Sir Mimsy. I'm going to show you what happens real quick. I get these knots a lot. I'll take it even closer. You can maybe see that knot there. It's a tangle. What you do is you just pull on that gently. Get it out of the... And then it just usually works its way out. So, there. We fixed that. But yeah, Jimmy Sherwood did the voice of Sir Mimsy. Oh, and just to let you know, if you follow any of my... If you're on Twitter and you follow any of the people who have helped this stream along, my music producer, who is Darkseed Shakes, is going by a new handle now. And I did not have time, I'm so sorry, to change his handle on the credits. So I will do that for next week. You know what I'm going to do? That little face is sticking out there a little bit. I'm going to trim that with my small scissors before I sew over it. So it tucks under. I don't want that to appear on the side. There we go. He goes as JB Brown Sound now. So if you follow him on Twitter, and he'll be part of my Follow Friday tomorrow when I do that. I'll change it there. And then I'll change it in the credits for next time. But he is a wonderful supporter. Not only did he do the music you're hearing now. Can you hear the music now, I hope? But he did that intro that you heard. That's a Mimsy holiday. With a little bit of... it's like the regular one I use. When you get a lot of tangles like I've been getting, let me show you what you can do. You can simply just hold up, let the needle kind of hang there, and then just let it gravity untwist it. And that helps a lot, so you don't get those knots like I've been getting. But he also wrote the Mimsy's theme, which is what you usually hear on my Tuesday and Wednesday streams. But he Christmased it up for me for this one as a favor, and that was just so sweet of him. He had a little bit of jingly bells to it. He did that for my holiday special last December when we made Sir Mimsy. We actually made a Sir Mimsy ornament. Oh, I know what I needed to talk about while we sew this. I plan to give this little guy away. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to do anything except go to Twitter and find me at Qyjari. It's Qyjari. I don't know if my name is my name on the screen? It's not even on the screen, is it, Rainick? Oh well. And you can find me. And give me a follow on Twitter and find this post and say that you saw it live and that you'd love us a little gnome ornament, and I will choose a winner and send it to you. And that'll be, it'll be a little bit early or a little bit late for your next holiday, but you'll have it. That's what I did with the Mimsy ornament, which Rainick, by the way, who's in chat, won. And he was sent a Sir Mimsy ornament. We didn't quite get him finished on the stream because we were too busy laughing and joking the whole night. That was the night we had my son, my producer, Drake, and we had a ton... Oh, and my other producer, my daughter, Clover. And then we had a trivia contest, and we had a lot of disruptions that night. We didn't get him done at all. I think we got his eyes on. That was pretty much it. But we had a good time. All right. See how nice and smooth that's looking? Yeah, we can actually take this needle out. I won't poke myself anymore. I need to get a setup like you do, Rainick, with the when you put an exclamation point on the, see, I'm such a noob streamer. I've only been doing this for half a year. I don't even know how you do those little call outs like you do for me when I come to your stream. It totally still isn't up on January 10th. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you need to take your Christmas decorations down. Please don't tell me your lights are still on the porch. I shouldn't say anything. My Christmas tree is still up, although it's been undecorated. My husband and I plan to take the lights off of it because they have it was pre-lit, but it's a 12-foot tree, and it has thousands of lights on it, and some of them are out. So we decided to remove every single light before we put it away. Well, that's probably going to take a month or more of us just sitting on the floor in the family room with a large tarp under us and a pair of wire cutters and get all those wires out of there. Some of the lights are dead, so we didn't want to. We were able to kind of hide on this past Christmas, but I don't want to deal with it the next time we put it up. There we go. I'm spinning it, getting rid of some of the tangles there. So anyway, so yeah, I still have mine up, and yes, those are still plugged in. Nice. That's okay. I think isn't the actual day the end of the Advent? Isn't that supposed to be like the 8th or something? Supposedly when the wise men came. I don't know. I'm not all up on those dates and stuff. I just enjoy making the ornaments. Oops, there's another knot. Oop, I got a little anxious there with that one. Anyway. Oh, you know what? Those last two, I don't like those. I took all the floss out of this needle, and I'm going to use it to pull these out. Those stitches are too wide. I like my stitches around all of the pieces to look uniform, and those are they were too wide. Let me just start over on that one, on those two. Not all of it, just those two. I'm gonna go look at it again. So what, are you playing anything tonight, Rainick? So I want to call you by your real name. Okay. Alright, let's try that again. A little more uniform, not as wide. There we go. It is a little more difficult to do this. Holding it, I usually hold it very close to my face to see the stitches stay uniform. So these are going to be a little off, but that's okay. That's what gives it personality, right? Oops. The only one I have trouble with a lot is when I work with, and I will have trouble with it on this one, I work with black, excuse me, I had an itchy nose, black felt and black thread. It's very difficult to see. I will attach it, but I don't know if I will be able to do it very well. And I have a major knot right here, so let's work on that. Let's get that out of there. That's gonna be sometimes you can get the needle in there like that and kind of pull the edges away. Ruh-roh. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to give up on that. I'm going to leave it right there. And I will show you how to fix a knot problem in the back. Fortunately, this is not something that you have to see from the other side. That will be buried on the inside. So we will just continue. And as I put the next one in, I'm going to go back behind here and capture that. And the reason why is you don't want that stitch to become loose because there's extra slack in there. So I'm going to capture that and pull it along with me as I stitch. So I'll go back, make another stitch on the front. Put the, it's not good, there, that's a better one. And again, go to the back, capture it again, pull it a little bit tighter. That way that stitch does not get, there. Now it'll be tight, and that stitch, if it manages to get a little pull on it, won't come forward in your final, on the front of your final project. There we go. Alright, we're almost done with the hat. And then we're going to put on his beard. And like I said, if you want to add the sequins and the seed beads to his beard, do it before you attach it to the face. Because then you don't have to worry about going through 3 layers of felt, because you would on this part where it's overlapping his face. And just have to go through the single layer of his beard with wherever you want the sequins to go. Okay. I tie a knot in the back of this project by simply running the needle through part of the fabric. Always make sure it doesn't appear on the other side, which in this case I wasn't worried because it's two layers thick. And pull through, and before you pull it all the way through, find that loop, and there you go, push it right through, and then I use my finger to hold it so I don't pull the fabric. And that's all you have to do. Now I'm extra cautious. I always want to make sure that that's not going to come undone, so I actually go around the previous stitches like this just to lock that in there. Then I'll give it a snip like that. Okay, so now we've got his little hat on, his little red hat, and there's a hair off my head tickling my nose. All right, so let's work on his beard. That's pattern. That goes on there. Oh, he's so cute. Right up against his face. I'm going to pull it up a little bit higher. In fact, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the beard. I think I want it tucked under his hat, so I'm going to snip that. You know what? I'm going to snip it after I get started on it so it doesn't shift. And then I lose that. Because once you cut it, that's pretty much it. So let's get our white thread out. I don't think I have any pre-threaded white. But here's a piece that I must have had left over from a previous project. I use white a lot. White and black seems to be a staple in my ornament making. This may not be enough to go all the way around, but that's okay because then I can show you how to hide what happens when you have to start again. Alright. Or start a new stitch, I should say. Lock it and tie it, and there I go, slobbering all over my stitches again. Okay. There we go. I'm going to do that trick with the knot again. Maybe you can see it this time. Practice, practice. Oh, B, I thought of another idea for my Tuesday night slogan. Do you want to hear it? Oh, you're doing Rocket League? Yeah, no, we have that game. Crow and I have that. We haven't played yet, though. Drake loves it, though. All right, you want to hear it? All right, here it is. Why don't you come with me, everyone, on a magic crafting ride? What? Is that good? Is that good? Is it like that one? It's so corny. And I couldn't get the song out of my head for like days after I thought of it. It was terrible. All right, again, like the hat, I'm going to start at the middle and work my way around. And just do that running stitch like we did for the hat, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And I'm capturing also his face in this part too. So that's how his face is getting sewn on. the peach part of the felt is getting sewn on, is by the underside of the beard. Oops. There we go. So yeah, once that stitch got in, I realized that part of his beard is going to be way too much. So I'll give it a clip right there before I finish sewing that area. Did I install? What time is it? Oh, I only have 20 minutes. This is going fast, folks. So what do you think? You do like it? You do like that? Why don't you come with me, everyone, on a magic crafting ride? Everyone's going to be singing. Who sings that? Steppenwolf? I can't remember. Everyone's going to be singing that. And then they're going to be like, you are so old, Qyjari. You know that song? It's too funny. All right. So we've got the edge of the beard coming up, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to snip that part. I wanted to get to the blanket stitch before I had to stop for today, and I do have a hard stop today. Yesterday I forgot. I tried to do a stop at 2 o'clock because my youngest gets off the school bus a little after that, and I forgot that she has a chorus after school on Wednesdays, so I could have stayed on longer and finished my story. So maybe next Wednesday I'll extend 3 sheets, 1 shot to longer because I have a little bit more time. I don't have to pick her up till later on in the afternoon when she's done with chorus. But today is a hard stop, so that's all right. If I don't finish it today, we will revisit it next Thursday and finish our gnome, our Santa gnome. Because I don't want to rush it, but I also want you to be able to see that blanket stitch. And if you're a sewer or any kind of hand stitching person, then you already know what the blanket stitch looks like. So I'm generally just talking to those who are here to learn a few things. But if you're just here to relax and watch, that's cool too. I had an idea also for the beard I might do before before I finish sewing him up. Whoops, got a bad knot on that one. I'll show you the one what I'm talking about. Oh, that stitch is too wide. Let's start again. Okay. Let's lick that thread again and make that stitch a little bit more not as wide. That was too wide. But before I do that, I'll show you what I was talking about. If you can see on I always make a sample one or a prototype and improve it from there. And I liked everything about this except I might put that belt buckle on. But what I didn't like is if you can see all white felt, unfortunately, if you put a fabric underneath it, any color felt underneath it, unless it's very light colored, you might see through to you can kind of see the peach under there. And I wasn't crazy about that. So what I might do is lightly stuff him with some of this polyfill, which you can get at any craft store, fabric store. And I know Leyrena does not like the feel of that, so I guess she's not going to be making any kind of what are you doing over there? Well, I haven't played Rocket League. I just have it. I have never played, so I would be terrible at it. Let's just stick with Destiny for now. I think that would be better for me, not learning another game. But I think that's what I'll do. I think when I get up to this part here, before I completely go all the way around and I have a little gap, I'm gonna very lightly stuff the inside. It'll give it a little more fullness and body, but then I can also, it'll hide that outline of the face. Okay. Let's see. What do you think, if you're in chat, what do you think the next ornament should be that I should make? Any subject, any type that you'd like to see? I've done Sir Mimsy. Although, you know what, I need to perfect that ornament. Rainig, you got the one of a kind, because I think I'd like to do him a little differently the next time I make one. So I'm thinking, I have never done a cow. And cows have been on my mind recently because I just tried on a bridesmaid's dress for my brother's wedding. And I looked like a cow. And so maybe a cute little Christmas cow. I don't know. I've never done a pig. Are you guys shouting out all these ideas? Don't defer. Defer. I defer to you. You're the expert. All right, I'm gonna start stuffing him a little bit with only with that much room, because I'm afraid if I go in here, I won't be able to reach this area right here. And you know what I forgot for my stuffing? I'm gonna have to jump up and get it. Is hemostats, and hemostats are actual medical things that doctors use to clamp the. I don't have to get it because I actually have guests in the house, and they just frantically jumped up and decided to hand them to me. So I don't go AFK at all. So I'm just gonna stand here until they're handed to me. Why, thank you, madam. For those who saw, that was Nana Casey's hands in my stream. Okay, I have two pairs. This one is kind of hard to open and close. It's kind of whatever.
No.
You didn't know what hemostats were? These are hemostats. Because you can clamp them like that, and it holds the blood vessels closed. But we're not operating today. We're just crafting. Yeah, we're just stuffing. All right, so we're going to take a tiny little bit. Not even a lot. Like, you can almost see through it there. And we're going to put it on the edge of the hemostat. You can also use a dowel rod or a... Actually, you know what? You can use a chopstick, because it has a very blunt point on it. And that gets the stuffing all the way to the inside. So I'm just going to lightly stuff. Squeezing the hemostats and pushing it into the corners. Like that. Oh, I like that. No suggestions? Oh, hey! Twisted's back! How are you, hon? Rainick just said, thank you, unseen helper, to your hands that came in. I'm making an ornament, Twisted, and I was asking for suggestions, and Rainick didn't have any. So I was suggesting things like, I haven't done a cow or a pig. Oh, a set of bells. Nana Casey's in the house. She's literally in the house. She's sitting right there. Yeah, a set of bells. That would be fun. I can make them all different colors. You can say it out loud. They're trying to whisper behind the cameras. This is not a professional thing. It's just a thing. I love these guys so much. They put up with all my shenanigans. I told him that we were gonna have Cajun pasta with shrimp and kielbasa if I could find the fork and recipe. I found it. It might be spicy though. It might be too spicy for Nana Casey. We'll have to see. Okay, so see how that his beard is overlapping his hat? We're gonna give that a little trim now that I've sewn it up to that point. Sewed it. All right, there. That's much. Oh, that's the bee's knees right there, folks. Perfect. Okay. Hey, Raina can, what? Sew it in. There you go. Okay, so pig, then bells, then cow. Okay. All right. We'll make a Christmas pig in honor of twisted, and I'm not calling him a pig. I promise. It's a name he goes by on his streams sometimes. And all my kids have played Minecraft and other games with him, and they call him Pig. So I don't know why. It's just a thing he has, thing he does. But a Christmas pig with a little Christmas hat around on his head, and a little curly cute tail. I have another knot. Okay, this one's gonna come out though because I could tell. I'm just gonna give it a pull. Okay, guess what? I was wrong. It's not gonna come out. Alrighty. Well, we're almost at the end anyway, so we're just gonna leave that one. I will pull it along though, like I suggested on that hat knot, so that it doesn't have that slack on it. So I will. Whoops. Knot reminds me of a funny scene from a show that I used to watch with my kids when they were little. My older kids, Drake and his brother and Del Mori. We used to watch the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and there was an episode with Pooh and Rabbit down a hole, and they couldn't get out. And Piglet was at the very top of the hole with a rope. And Rabbit told him to knot the rope and throw it down so they could use it as a way to climb out of the hole. And so Piglet was nervously trying to tell Rabbit that he didn't know how to make a knot, so he said that he didn't know how to make one, and Rabbit says, you cannot, you can't make a knot, he says, and Piglet says, I cannot knot. And at that very moment, Pooh says, who's there? I swear that show was for more grown-ups than kids. And Rabbit was frustrated and said, Pooh! And Pooh said, Pooh-hoo! It was really funny. You can probably YouTube that and find it. Alright. I don't tell stories very well, but I like that one. I'm not going to capture that thread on the back until I get to near the end, because it's a longer thread. I'll show you what I mean. But before I get to the end of this, I need to finish stuffing that side. Okay. Alright. Well, one more stitch and then I'll have a tiny little gap in the beard to get stuffing in on the right side of his face. Okay. Where's my hemostats? Here we are. This is going to be a little bit of a turn here to get up and in to that little corner, but I think it's worth it. I like the idea of this. That didn't go. That stitch right there did not go through on the side. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. I'll show you how to do that, but let me finish stuffing this. I don't like gaps, so I'm going to fix that. And this is just a light stuffing, and the reason why you don't want to do it too full is because then it may not match the sides on either side. So I'm gonna make sure that you. All right, before I finish the beard, I'm gonna go over and just run a stitch back here over that one to kind of seal it up better than I did there. I don't know why I didn't go through to the very back part, but. That's better. That closes it up. Let's get those stuffing in there. Alright. Alright, we'll finish the beard, and I'll talk about the next steps I'll take, and then I'll have to stop for the day, and we can revisit Mr. Santa Gnome next Thursday. My other streams coming up, of course, if you are one of my followers on Twitter, you know that I'm part of a huge Dungeons and Dragons community, and I design and create three-dimensional terrain for tabletop gaming, including Dungeons and Dragons, which is my primary game, and that's on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. And we're currently working on a Miramore, which is this is the long-winded name for the description of this terrain, but it is a partially submerged, long abandoned, cliffside, halfling village. And it's the first time that I've ever created vertical terrain, which means the players will get to play more on the side of a construct rather than on a flat surface. So we're building little halfling houses to go along this cliff. We're building the actual cliff. Part of it will be submerged somehow. We'll have to figure that out. I've never done this before. And last Tuesday was our first episode, and it is already available on YouTube if you want to go check it out. And I have links, but that just means I get distracted clicking links. I'd rather just talk to you guys about it. If you like what I do and want to support that stream and my other daytime stream, which was yesterday, I write D&D one-shot campaigns. That was a blast yesterday, by the way. We had so much fun doing that one. Then you can always support me on Ko-fi, where I'm looking for an Elgato Stream Deck, which will help me do this without having to lean over here to do it. I can just hit a button, click. Or you can be a patron, and I have rewards for patrons, including ornaments. And other ways you can support me, just being my friend, following me on Twitter, or follow this on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. You can sub here if you have a Prime account, and that's free for you. Anyway, I look forward to finishing our little gnome next Thursday when we're all together. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for contributing to the stream. And see ya Tuesday. Bye.